So we finally have a look at what World Cup cricket looks like in New York. And Ayaz, if I'm being honest, it's not looking that great if you're a batter. We saw that first in that South Africa-Sri Lanka game and now with India-Ireland. And in both games, the team batting first did not cross 100 and a couple of people were hurt. The couple of batters were hit on the body and had to retire hurt like Rohit Sharma did against Ireland. So my question is, in the upcoming match, India versus Pakistan, which is supposed to be the showcase of the early part of this tournament, will also be played in this stadium in New York. And a lot of casual fans all over the world would tune in to see Babar Azam and Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma hit sixes and fours. But if this pitch holds true to the way it's been behaving, do you think that could be a spoil sport?
So, I mean, you're right, Anirudh. You mentioned about the difficulty quotient in the pitch. In fact, I think it was quite scary for bowlers because, in a T20 game, you don't expect so many imponderables to happen. You expect a track to be flattish. People like to watch the fours and the sixes. That's the flavor of the match. But if you've got batsmen struggling, ducking, weaving, at one level, it is interesting because it restores the balance between bat and ball. You don't want to see actually an entire World Cup like the IPL was played. But the hardship quotient for batsmen should not be so enormous that it takes away, it just makes the contest lopsided in another direction. So I think that, yeah, I mean, but having said that, what it shows is that this match is going to be extremely challenging for players from both teams because if you're a batsman, you'll have to play extremely well against the fast bowlers and even the spinners because we saw in the South Africa versus Sri Lanka game, even the spinners did well. So when there's so much help for the bowlers, pace and spin, the batsmen will have to be extremely skillful and the blind hitting that we got used to in T20 will have to be tempered. You'll have to see, you'll have to have batsmen who play according to the situation, make sure they play out the 20 overs, which didn't happen in the earlier matches that you mentioned about, and therefore give their bowlers a chance. So there's going to be pressure, and there's going to be an imposition. There'll be demands made on the skills and the minds of both batsmen and bowlers, which is not such a bad thing, except that the risk factor where batsmen should not get hit and all should not be predominant.
Yeah, and you were right. We spoke about this earlier also, how the IPL could be this bubble that was about to burst and reality welcomes you with World Cup cricket. And we're seeing that now a bit. So let's talk about the match against Ireland per se. So Rohit Sharma got a 50, as I earlier mentioned, and Bumrah was just unplayable and got man of the match for his 2 wickets. I think he went for just 6 runs in his quota of overs. And then Rishabh Pant back in the international scene finished off with like he is wont to. He finished off with an audacious reverse scoop that went for a 6. So, what are your takeaways from the match, and how good was it to see Rishabh back in India colours?
So I think 3 or 4 of the major players have struck form. If you look at the warm-up match against Bangladesh and this, so you've got Rishabh Pant who scored runs in both matches. You've got Hardik Pandya who's bowled well, had a decent knock in the earlier match, and then you've got Rohit Sharma who's also amongst the runs. Obviously, Virat Kohli didn't get too many runs. In fact, I thought he played a poor shot and got dismissed. But otherwise, and Bumrah has against Ireland was extremely good. So I think it's taking shape. The composition of the team. I think we saw what will be the playing 11 against Pakistan. And in this match, we saw even Arshdeep getting wickets, even Mohammad Siraj getting wickets. So it's just the momentum has built up for India. The only worry I would have is Rohit Sharma, who hit a problem with his shoulder. By all accounts, it's not serious, but you want him to be 100% in the match against Pakistan.
Yeah. And lastly, getting on to that match against Pakistan. Now, Rohit Sharma has said that he doesn't know what to expect from the pitch, but if the pitch does hold true, do you give a slight advantage? Nobody knows. Yeah, so if the pitch does stay true to this way, like it's been behaving in the past 2 games, do you give a slight advantage to Pakistan because they seem to have arguably a more well-rounded group of fast bowlers?
I mean, yes and no. See, they've got 4 extremely skillful fast bowlers. Now that Mohammad Amir has also come back, so there's Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah, Haris Rauf. They're all specialists in white ball cricket. Shaheen, of course, is more than just Shaheen and Naseem play other red ball cricket also. And then there's Mohammad Amir. So they've got 4 fast bowlers. They've got Shadab. They've got Imad Wasim as the spinners. So it's a well-rounded team. But I think that the batting is still suspect. where India's batting is not suspect. I mean, you would expect India to score runs because the batters have been in very good form. But apart from Babar and Mohammad Rizwan and Fakhar Zaman, I think the batting is a little wobbly unless the all-rounders come good. And and remember India's pace bowling attack led by Bumrah. I mean, I can't think of a single batsman in the world today who can take liberties against Bumrah in any format. So with Bumrah as the linchpin, and if Arshdeep and Siraj hold their own, and Hardik shows the form that he has, I think India's got a very potent attack also. I think it'll boil down to how the batters from both teams fare, and obviously which team handles the pressure of that match better.
Yeah, and there will be a lot of pressure. It's in a new country, new audience, hopefully new audience. So yeah, that's the match coming up. And I know everyone is right now getting out of election season, and probably this India-Pakistan match will be the one that gets people into the World Cup. And we're all looking forward to it, and we'll get you all the updates as and when they happen. So yeah, that's it for this episode of Sports Room. We'll see you next time.